Hello Leo, radiant child of the sun, welcome to Golden Fortune Leo. If these words have found you, trust me, it isn't by accident. The universe is far too witty to work through coincidences. It prefers irony, synchronicity, and the occasional cosmic joke. You are here because you are one of the chosen ones, and this very moment is woven into your year of triumph 2025. I speak not merely as an astrologer, but as someone who has studied how stars, society, and psychology twist together into the same rope that pulls us forward. What I see is simple yet profound. You are standing on the edge of a breakthrough, the kind that demands courage wrapped in discomfort. Picture yourself caught in emotional quicksand, feet heavy as though dragging through molasses, muttering that classic Leo line, "Why does the universe always make me work for it?" The answer is both cruel and compassionate, because without the swamp, there is no strength. Psychology calls this resilience training, Buddhism calls it surrender, and I call it the tuition you pay for your crown. And here's the funny part, Spirit already knows you'll win. You're the only one still doubting. So yes, you may sweat, stumble, and even feel like vomiting before stepping onto your stage, but that's just proof that the moment matters. Triumph never arrives neatly wrapped, it comes disguised as chaos, nerves, and the urge to quit right before the miracle. Keep moving, Leo, because your roar is louder than your fear, and your destiny is waiting for the sound. Leo, let us begin with honesty. You feel stuck, don't you? You've been pouring yourself into a project, a relationship, or perhaps a daring creative pursuit, and instead of momentum you've met resistance at every turn. It is as if life handed you a treadmill disguised as a road forward. You run, you sweat, you hope, but the scenery doesn't change. Psychologists have a neat phrase for this: the illusion of control. The harder you thrash, the deeper you sink, much like quicksand. Buddhists might describe it as dukkha, the inevitable suffering that arises when we cling too tightly to specific outcomes. Yet here lies the cosmic paradox: Spirit actually wants you right there in the swamp. That heaviness in your chest, the queasy feeling before a leap, the frustration of progress denied, that is not punishment, it is training. It is the tuition life demands in exchange for courage. Courage, after all, is not the absence of fear but the choice to dance with fear and keep moving. Picture the actor trembling backstage, palms slick, stomach in knots, cursing themselves for agreeing to this play. But when the curtain rises, something ancient within them rises too. That is you now, Leo, standing at the edge of your own stage. In tarot, this is the Seven of Cups, foggy, confusing, filled with glittering distractions and nagging doubts. But I'll tell you, as someone who has spent years studying both the human psyche and the stars above, those illusions serve a higher purpose. They strip away the counterfeit bravado, the empty self-assurance, and force you to reach for something sturdier: faith in yourself. Without the swamp, without the molasses, without the curtain call nausea, you'd never discover the roar that has always been waiting in your chest. And though it may feel maddening now, this season of uncertainty is the crucible shaping your triumph. Leo, let us speak of the fire in your veins, the flame that never surrenders even when your body begs for rest. It is the archetypal Leo quality, that relentless vitality that echoes the Prince of Wands, charging forward as though the very act of slowing down would be a betrayal of your essence. Even when life drags you into mud thick as cement, you somehow manage to keep the engine running, as if you've set yourself on spiritual cruise control. To an outsider, it may look absurd, like watching someone insist on running a marathon while carrying a backpack full of bricks, but here is the paradox: what looks like madness to others is what makes you powerful. The universe, contrary to your late-night complaints, is not punishing you but preparing you. Just as an athlete's muscles must tear a little to grow stronger, your spirit demands resistance in order to refine its greatness. Nobody earns an Olympic medal by strolling leisurely around the block, and likewise no Leo reaches destiny without a few storms to sharpen their claws. The friction you resent is the very forge that shapes you. And, because Spirit is never blind to the practical, this fire has a financial thread woven through it as well. You've likely felt the stress of money, the uncertainty of whether a side hustle or a creative venture would ever amount to more than wasted energy. Yet the stars whisper of a small but pivotal breakthrough. Imagine baking your first batch of cookies, nervous that no one will like them, only to find the neighbors knocking for more before the oven cools. That is your coming jackpot, not a lottery windfall, but something more enduring, confirmation that your gift carries weight in the marketplace of life. It is the proof that your talent is not indulgence, but currency, not mere personal joy, but a fire that others are willing to gather around and be warmed by. In that realization, Leo, lies both your validation and your invitation to scale higher. Leo, let's strip away the drama and get to the truth. What's coming your way is not the grand finale, it's the dress rehearsal. Think of it as the pilot episode of your life's next season, the kind where the lighting is a little off, the script isn't polished, and yet the network executives, otherwise known as the universe, are watching closely to see if you've got what it takes to carry the show. That small victory, whether it's the sale of your first painting, a callback from an audition, a new client saying yes, or even just that long-awaited recognition from someone you respect, isn't meant to satisfy you forever. It's meant to whisper, "Good. Now do it again, and bigger." Every empire once began with a single village, every best-selling author once had a short story rejected 17 times before someone said yes, and every rock star once played in a bar where the bartender was louder than the audience. What separates those who vanish from those who rise is not talent alone, it's perseverance. And Leo, perseverance is stitched into your DNA. You are not designed for a one-hit wonder, your story is a saga, not a soundbite. That's the Queen of Wands within you, urging you to keep the flame alive after the first spark, to build a bonfire instead of warming your hands on a matchstick. Still, don't kid yourself. This is a test, and the judges are ruthless. Spirit is watching not just the outcome, but your attitude. Do you treat this smaller stage as sacred, or do you pout when the crowd is thin? Do you show up with humility and hunger, or do you toss your crown aside when things feel beneath you? Here's the saving grace: you possess a Leo heart, and when you love something, you don't ration your devotion. You pour it out until your voice cracks and your body aches, because that's how you're wired. And that, dear Leo, is why you belong among the chosen ones. You don't abandon the stage just because the lights flicker, you roar all the louder, determined to prove you were born for the spotlight. Leo, let's take a moment to laugh at the absurdity of it all, because without humor, life would feel like an endless stack of homework assignments we never signed up for. Picture yourself knee-deep in emotional quicksand, flailing like a Shakespearean actor who forgot his lines, shouting at the sky, "Why me?" And somewhere above, your spirit guides are sipping celestial tea, rolling their eyes with affection, and whispering, "Because you signed up for this, darling." It's cosmic comedy at its finest. You volunteered for the advanced course, and now you're shocked it comes with exams. Think of Spirit as your overly enthusiastic gym trainer. You walk in expecting a gentle yoga session with soft music and scented candles, and instead, they slap a barbell on your back that feels like the size of a small car. You groan, you curse, you consider quitting, but afterward you notice muscles you never knew existed. That's exactly the season you're in. The universe is not trying to punish you, it's conditioning you for greatness. From a psychological standpoint, this is resilience boot camp, stress inoculation, the way therapists describe it. From a Buddhist lens, it's the practice of surrender, understanding that resistance itself is the suffering. And from the vantage point of someone who has studied both astrology and the oddities of human behavior, it's also just plain hilarious. Because isn't it true that we only discover our strength when life puts us through routines we'd never choose voluntarily? This brutal training program, complete with sweat and swearing, is the very thing that ensures your eventual triumph won't just be sweet, it'll be glorious. Without the pain of the workout, there is no victory lap. So, Leo, laugh a little in the middle of the burn. It means you're growing into the lion you were always meant to be. Leo, let's bring the threads together, because 2025 is not just another calendar year circled in ink, it is your year of triumph. But let me be clear, this isn't the jackpot of scratch-off tickets or sudden inheritance, this is the jackpot of confidence, validation, and unstoppable momentum. It's the moment when life nudges you and asks, are you ready to stop dabbling and start building? The Judgment card, or what some traditions call the DIDN, reminds us this is rebirth, not in the Hollywood sense of waking up with a new haircut and a new lease on life, but in the deep, demanding sense of being evaluated. Not punished, not humiliated, but weighed for readiness. Because here's the secret no one tells you, when you scale up, the recipe doesn't just double. The kitchen turns into chaos. More ingredients, more ovens, more timers beeping at once. But isn't this what you were designed for? You, Leo, the lion in the jungle, conducting life like an orchestra of growls and triumphs. The universe does not hand crowns to those who shrink from responsibility. It crowns those willing to sacrifice comfort for creation, those who understand that the hanged man's lesson is not about suffering but transformation. You surrender ease, and in return you inherit power. And yes, sometimes that feels terrifying. Your knees shake, your voice quivers, your stomach flips like a rookie on opening night. But ask any seasoned actor, any rock star stepping onto a stadium stage, or any leader about to face a restless crowd, they'll admit to butterflies, every single time. That trembling is proof that the moment matters. If you felt nothing, you'd be numb, not alive. And when your inner critic hisses, what if I fail? I want you to smirk like the lion you are and answer, what if I fly? That is your essence, Leo. This is why 2025 is not a routine chapter, but a triumphal march. You are not rehearsing anymore. You are stepping into the main act, crowned not by chance but by courage, sharpened by sacrifice, and lit by the fire only you can carry. And so here we are, Leo, standing together at the edge of the swamp where fear meets destiny. You, with trembling hands, offering your first creation to the world, not unlike a baker nervously unveiling a cookie recipe to a room full of critics. You, strapped into the cosmic airplane, heart pounding, nauseous at 10,000 feet, yet still ready to leap. These moments are not evidence of weakness, they are proof that you are alive and engaged in something worthy of your soul. The small victory that awaits you is not the finish line but the green light. Spirit whispers, do not pause here, do not settle. This is not a punishment but an initiation, a sacred trial that asks you to pour yourself in fully, sweat, effort, sacrifice, and to do so not with bitterness but with joy. For joy, like fire, is what separates a Leo from the rest. Understand this clearly, courage has never been the absence of fear. It is the willingness to sing with a dry throat, to paint even when your hands shake, to love though your heart remembers past wounds, to create even when no one claps. That is the heartbeat of Leo, and that is what will carry you into the promise of your year of triumph 2025. And remember, you are not merely another sign in the Zodiac wheel, you are one of the chosen ones, a flame bearer, the heart of the jungle. This year, the crown is already waiting for you, it is only a matter of claiming it. So stay bold, stay golden, and most importantly, enjoy the life you are building. If this message resonates, let the world know. Like this video, share it with those who need to hear it, and subscribe to Golden Fortune Leo so that together we can continue walking this path of light, laughter, and triumph. The jackpot is not coming, it is already yours.